Death Grips are probably the most punk rock band I've seen in a very, very long time. It got me thinking. I've always had a massive admiration for the punk kind of DIY ethos, the whole handmade nature of everything.
The customization of clothes and objects.
Punk is confident. Punk
doesn't care
what you think of it.
The thing I love about punk music is the rawness of it, the directness of it. It doesn't matter if you hit a chord and a couple of the strings are not hit properly. This adds to an energy and it adds to honesty in the music. Many years ago I came across this book by a graphic design collective called Neasden Control Centre. I loved everything about this book. The thing that I really liked about this graphic design collective was their naive kind of style of drawing and hand-drawn lettering. I couldn't really see a lot of other people doing this at that time. There was a lot of vector graphics and a lot of overly photoshopped images. They really stood out.
Fake news.
Neasden Control Centre is not actually a graphic design collective. It's one guy called Stephen Smith. There's definitely something on the roof. This is like the bit in the horror film just before. It's probably a cat. When I was at university, a girl I was living with said that I definitely need to check out an artist called Jean-Michel Basquiat. She said that I was going to really like him. Eventually we managed to get a copy of the film Basquiat by Julian Schnabel. As soon as I saw this film, it was like I was completely hooked on this artist. I was obsessed with his style and with the kind of mythology that went around him. He died very young. It is kind of like the Kurt Cobain of the art world. What I really liked about Basquiat's art was the naive kind of nature of it. It wasn't depicting things in a realistic way. It was almost like quite childlike drawings, and I really liked the mistakes he was making were becoming kind of like part of his visual language. He was scribbling out words and painting over part of the canvas so that it completely changed the composition of the painting. The cat's on the roof again. When I was younger, I used to really struggle with things being perfect. My mum told me whenever I was doing a colouring book or something, if I went outside the lines, then I would like rip the page out and scrumple it up and throw it away because I wanted it to be perfect. So fast forward to now, when I was looking on YouTube, almost all of the art channels that I could find were talking about art materials. It was almost like the art materials were taking precedent over the intention of the artwork. Most of the questions were things like,
which type of paper do you use? What brand of marker is the best?
It really doesn't matter. Just look around you, see what you've got, start working. Have you got some old paint in your shed? Have you got some free newspaper that you usually put straight in the bin? Anyway, back to my main point. Punk has influenced me by letting me embrace my mistakes, embrace the imperfections in my technique. Imperfection is interesting. Imperfection is human. We shouldn't be afraid that we're not good enough. We should just do what we love doing, not make excuses, and create as much as we can. Punk is actually defined as a loud, fast-moving and aggressive form of rock music popular in the 1970s. So, by definition, Death Grips is not punk, neither are my cited visual influences.